Cody Stamann, 18-2. I fight for the Ultimate Fighting Championships, the UFC. So I grew up in this little podunk town called Sparta, Michigan. It's known for farming apples and creating, one of the best fighters on the planet, me. I started wrestling. I was a decent wrestler, but honestly, when I was in high school, I was more concerned with chicks than I was wrestling. And it wasn't really till after high school and after, boxing and wrestling and playing rugby and track and all these things that I realized that I really I miss competing. I miss being an athlete. And so when MMA kind of started popping up in my local area, I tried it. It was like a bucket list thing. I saw the kids that were fighting and I was pretty convinced I could kick their ass. So I did it, but I really at no point had any intentions like, hey, I'm gonna fight in the UFC. I'm gonna be a pro fighter. Honestly, I was just a dumb redneck kid from Sparta who, thought he was tough. And turns out I was actually pretty good at it, and it kind of consumed my life. I stopped caring about everything else. MMA just became everything. Into high school, I know what it is to work hard, and I think just the combination of being, naturally pretty gifted as an athlete, and combined with my blue collar, work ethic, I got really good at MMA really fast, and before I knew it, I was the best guy in Michigan, and and now I'm one of the best guys in the world. My first fight was at the Coliseum Strip Club in Detroit. So yeah, I was nervous. One, I'd never been in a strip club before. I was 18 years old. It was literally just me and my dad. I didn't even have a coach there. I really didn't even know the rules. I had no idea. I had maybe watched 3 MMA fights my whole life. And I went out just completely out of terror, hit this kid, dropped him in probably the first 10 seconds, and then jumped on him and just started, beating the hell out of him. And then the ref was trying to pull me off, and I didn't really realize what was going on. I'd never seen a fight get stopped. And then, the ref kind of threw me off and pinned me down and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know, man, I'm fighting." And he's like, "I told you to stop." And I was like, "I didn't know I was supposed to." I literally didn't know the rules. And that's kind of how MMA started for me. I was just a raw, uncut, crazy kid that liked getting in fights. There was never really a time. It was kind of always one of those things. I had really no idea how good I was. I didn't really know, because I trained with some really good guys, some talented guys, and I'd done okay. I went to Alpha Male and trained with the who's who of MMA at the time, and I felt like I did all right, but it's different when you get in the cage. You don't really know what to expect of yourself. And like I said, I come from pretty humble beginnings. The whole time I was a professional MMA fighter, I was also, working for a family business, helping, keep food on the table for my family. So, MMA was it was 50, I was half in, half out. I was always ready to do something else. And it wasn't until I was in the UFC that I realized that I really belonged there. I went in the UFC, 7 days notice. I fought a guy, that I think, probably should have beat me. And I absolutely cleaned the cage with him. And then I realized, I'm like, damn, you know what? I'm actually really good at this. I could really do something with this. And I've kind of carried that with me. But still, to this day, it's all surreal to me. I never really intended on having this life. I never really intended on being a fighter. I'm a smart kid. There's a million other things I could do. A million other things I could do for money. I don't feel like fighting was ever really in the cards for me. It just happened, and I'm still kind of in shock at how everything's played out. I absolutely love my life now. I love being a fighter, but it was never it wasn't a childhood dream of mine. I thought I was going to play professional football. This morning I went to Extreme Couture. I did a kickboxing class with Coach Eddie. Directly after that, I go to the PI, and I do some recovery, and then I eat lunch at the PI. Then I go to strength conditioning, right, at the PI. It's their strength conditioning program. I'm working with Kyle Lermer. He's freaking got a master's degree in what, you know, most of these guys that do strength conditioning are just kind of guessing. They watch a couple YouTube videos, like this guy has a master's degree. He has a program. He has me on a long-term program, you know, based around, you know, my body and what he sees and all these, you know, scientific shit that I have no idea. I just know that he tells me to do this and I do it, you know, as correctly as I can, and then, you know, we move on. Next thing you know, I'm in shape and I'm ready to fight. And then, you know, after I do strength conditioning, I go to the PT room. I get work done. And that's all free. Do you have any idea how much that costs when I'm in Michigan? Do you have any idea how many places I end up going? Like I can't fit all these things in one day. Like I couldn't have done that. I mean, I maybe would have got the strength conditioning, and then you know, I would have got to, you know, one kickboxing class, and that would have been my whole day. And then, you know, right after that, I go to Extreme Couture and I work out for you know, 2 hours with, you know, some of the best guys in the world, and that's Monday. That's a pretty typical day for me. I mean, I'm doing more. I'm working out more. I'm working out with really high level guys consistently on a daily basis. Other guys that are in the UFC, guys that have the same dreams and goals that I have. I mean, I love Michigan. I love the core group of guys that I trained with growing up, or coming up. You know, Darren Cruikshank, Kara Rowe, two of my coaches. I mean, people that I love and adore dearly, but like, I don't have the resources there that I have here. You know, there's so much here. I mean, it's really a no-brainer. I mean, today I probably saved $100 just in, you know, strength conditioning, free lunch, and then PT. Like that stuff costs real money, and the UFC supplements it. Like, why would I not use that? It's literally like having health benefits at your job and being like, you know what, I'm gonna get my own damn insurance. I don't want your health benefits. You know what I mean? Like, you're paying into that anyways. Why wouldn't you utilize it? And I just kind of seemed like a no-brainer. I want to win 2 more fights. I mean, it's that simple. I don't really give a shit who it is. You know, you can take Joe Schmo that's not ranked, and I'll fight him, kick his ass, and then, you know, maybe fight a killer at the end of the year. But just two more big wins. I'm not too hung up on, you know, like who's next for the title, because at bantamweight, who knows who's next for the title. There's like 8 guys that deserve the shot. You know, one guy that might get it that just showed up, Jose Aldo. Who knows what happens, you know? So I'm not focused on the title. I'm just focused on, you know, laying a perfect brick every day and just being a little bit better till I get to the point where, like, I feel like I'm so much better than everybody else that nobody can beat me. And that, when I'm at that point, you know, I'll be looking to be the world champ. But, you know, I'm not there yet. I got more work ahead of me. You know, I realize that I got to sharpen up. You know, after that Song Yadong fight, I think there's some things mentally that I need to change. You know, like maybe not pulling the trigger enough. There's corrections that need to be made. Maybe I need to get a little bit more of that raw, uncut, crazy kid that went out and, you know, spiked a few kids on their heads and knocked them out, you know, when I was an amateur. So I got to make some changes mentally, physically. Like I said, it's just I'm building a house right now, and I'm just, every day I'm laying a brick. Every day I'm laying a brick, and before you know it, I'm gonna have a mansion. But at this point, you know, I'm still kind of at the foundation as far as my MMA career goes.